So I just got back home and Gamescom happened with a lot of game announcements. Not too many things that really, like big mic drops, but there are a few things that were kind of tucked away in here that I don't think enough people are talking about. So I'd like to shed some light on that. And of course, would love to know what you thought if you checked out. Maybe you didn't watch the show, but maybe you've been seeing some of the trailers and would love to know what your thoughts are on the games down below in the comments. But it's Samurai Kibiji, and here are the 10 games that just really stood out to me at this show. And the first one, they're kind of all in chronological order. There's none that was really the top dog for me. But in chronological order, there was this game, Teardown. And Teardown is a game that's being developed, I believe it's like Tuxedo Studios or something, but it's a team of 2 that made a game that's very destructible. And longtime fans of mine will be aware that, I'm a big sucker for destructible environment games. Like, that's what I want to see. That's one of the things I want to see in next gen. And this game just does that. Yes, it's not super high graphic fidelity. In fact, it's got a bit of a Minecraft style, but I just love destruction. And this game, you literally can just blow a hole in anything, set fire to anything. I'm assuming the buildings will actually crumble. And you use the physics and settings of the game to pull off heists, which I kind of want to know more about. This game just really stood out to me, and I'm just curious to know more. Following that, we had a sequel being Little Nightmare 2, and I have never played the first game, but this just looked interesting to me, which is funny because horror is not really my thing. If it is yours, then that's awesome. But horror and me don't get along, but this game just still had this appeal to it, and I do enjoy 3D side scrollers. I've been playing Ori and the Ori series period and some other side scrollers, and I've just really been enjoying that genre the past year or two. And this one looked really cool with its art style and its 3D, and it's got some horror elements to it. It just looked like a neat game to dabble into. And honestly, indie games to me was kind of the standout of this show. There's just some games in here that, people are going to be talking about, the mainstream hitters. And who knows, you might see some of them in this list, but I just love these indies. And speaking of which, there was 12 Minutes. 12 Minutes is a time loop game that I guess has to do with potentially a tragedy, something, we're not sure, of something going down in this room or in this apartment house, I'm not sure. And I just love this idea of it being a time loop. Ever since I played Outer Wilds, which please play Outer Wilds, it is a fantastic game. I'm loving that time loops is becoming a part of game mechanics now. And this is a time loop game that a man is stuck in a bad situation with a woman. And what's really cool about this trailer that'll just, fine, you don't care about indie, that's cool. But guess what? They have some seriously A-list cast in this movie. They have James McAvoy playing the man that's stuck in this loop. They have Daisy Ridley playing as the woman, his wife, and they have the intruder being played by Willem Dafoe. What is with that cast list? That's amazing. Continuing the time loops though, we have Lemnis Gate. Now Lemnis Gate is, I'm not even sure I'm saying that right, but it's a first-person shooter that is a multiplayer, that is a strategy, and you mix all those together for yet another time loop game. But the reason this really stood out to me is, again, I love great graphics, I love mainstream hitters, but honestly, if you just hit me with something that has a really neat aesthetic or mechanic that just makes me go, wow, I haven't seen that too often, then you're gonna grab me. And that's what Lemnis Gate did. It's another time loop game, yes, but I couldn't even understand. I was watching the trailer and I couldn't even understand what I was seeing, because I don't know, like, it's saying pay attention to what your opponent does to formate a good strategy to deal with them. And I was like seeing the gameplay, I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, and I want to know what's happening here. I want to play this game. It's probably like a 1v1. I don't know how it could be a 4v4. I don't know. I'm just really interested, because if this is a first-person shooter having to do with this time loop mechanic that is like 25 seconds, you go back 25 seconds playing the game. I don't know. I don't understand it. And that's kind of what makes me really fascinated about it. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition is a game that a lot of these games on this list, I might not ever play. They're just all games I'm really interested to know more about. And I am a low-key real-time strategy fan. And I I don't know, I got some really nostalgic feels when I saw the gameplay of this and how there's all these different civilizations. If you're an Age of Empire fan, you might know well about the game, to which please let me know, like, in the comments what Age of Empires exactly is. I can look into it easily, but it's just, I don't know, the gameplay really impressed me here, and it just looked like a neat real-time strategy with all these different cultures and time periods. I don't know, this tickled my personal feels is what I'm getting at. Corvs, I think that's how you say it. We saw it in the past at the May Inside Xbox show, and when I first saw that, I was like, you know, this actually looks kind of interesting. It's been a while since we've seen a flight shooter style thing, and then this trailer just kind of, it was another small glimpse of the game, but it just continues to be, just like a lot of the other things in this list, something different to me. We don't get too many space shooter-like things, you know, and it just gives me that Star Fox feel, but in a bigger, open environment. That's awesome. And it's going to be utilizing ray tracing and all the next-gen shit, so let's freaking go. I have not done a video yet about freaking Fall Guys, but I'm telling you what, that is a contender for my game of the year, and I was so happy to see a Season 2 trailer for it. I believe they said, not at this show, or maybe they did, but I just believe it's confirmed that Season 2 won't be happening until October this year, but I am just happy that they have assets to present to everybody, and it's this medieval style thing. And if you live under a rock and don't know what Fall Guys is, it is a new battle royale game that is sweeping just everything, and it's technically an indie game that just got insanely popular, and I could do an entire video about Fall Guys. That's another thing. Let me know in the comments if you want that, but I just am happy to see Season 2, and it's a medieval style. The games look neat. I hope that they include more outfits and like themes of the games than just medieval, but it seems like that is the theme that they're going for, so I get it. I don't know, like that kind of makes me hope, how often are we gonna get a season? But then again, this is happening like 2 months after the game launched, so if we got a new season every couple months with a different theme, I'm game. But the funniest part about this, like my reaction, I legitimately laughed out loud, and I was like, oh shit, when I saw that you could move these blocks that other players have to jump on. If you look carefully, there's these blocks that you're gonna have to jump on to progress through the map, and there's a player that's like moving the block. I'm like, dude, people are going to troll with that. I know it. Next up, we have Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, and this is a game that's honestly, like Medal of Honor and me, I really just respect the franchise from afar, but this is an entirely VR World War II campaign that you get to play through. And that is interesting to me. That is honestly the one and only thing that's making me hesitate about getting a Series X over PS5, because PS5 is VR, and I want to do VR, and I want to play this game in VR because I just love the idea of going through a World War II thing, which maybe horrifically, they say it's simulating World War II, but it seems a bit more heroic and pizzazz than, you know, the grimness that is war. But I kind of like that. I kind of like that tone because you wouldn't want to, because it makes it more fun. You know, you're more having fun experiencing this World War II campaign that's full of heroism and adventure and all this stuff. And they really did a good job of executing that in the trailer, I felt like. And then they say that there's going to be a multiplayer that's VR in this. That's pretty insane. A game that I almost forgot about was Spellbreak, and I remember seeing this game way back. I don't remember what show it premiered at, but it just seems like a really freaking cool battle royale game that is just the style and aesthetic, just like Fall Guys. I really love that game because it is a different kind. It's not about shooting or killing or anything like that. It's just something fun in Mario Party. This one, yes, it's about, you know, taking down other players, but at least it's not a shooter. It's magical. You are using magic in this, and it's kind of got a little bit of a anime, cartoonish, just this kind of artsy direction that I really like about it. So I'm interested in the characters and the lore, but it's coming out soon and it's free to play, which all the more has me like, oh damn, I actually might check this out. So I'm pretty excited for this, and just it's free to play, so why not? But I just like just the flying around and shooting magic and different kinds of spells. I went on the website and you can make combination of spells, so it just seems like a really neat game. I got one more game I want to talk about before we do. Just make sure, what was your favorite part of Gamescom, or any piece of gaming news you saw in the past couple days, because it has been a weird couple days. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And a lot of people might be just like, how come he's not talking about Ratchet and Clank? Because they saved that for the end. It was the same demo we saw previously, but much more like meat to it. And it was extended and it just felt insanely raw. And I want to see more games that premiere themselves like this, you know, because then you know what you're getting into. I just felt like this is exactly what I'm going to experience when I play it. And it just looks freaking awesome. It's smooth, it's colorful. And in terms of next gen, Ratchet and Clank is seriously one of the top dogs for impressing, like, me personally so far. And I'm hearing from a lot of others as well. It's impressing them because, yeah, we've seen before how fast it loads things, which, by the way, apparently this game ain't going to have any load screens. That's pretty bonkers. There's no load screens in this game at all. There's going to be, you know, moments where you're going through the dimensions that maybe load shit, but there's no load screens in this at all, which is a really big promise to make. I wonder, does that mean we'll go into space? I don't know. But the map and the combat is so full of life and moving objects. There's so much on screen. And the interview after, they say that's like one of the couple things that they're really excited about is that they get to add so much density to their design of the game, which is amazing. And I really felt that in this trailer in particular, because there's so much moving that it got kind of overwhelming, I got to admit. And of course they end this by saying, what's the launch date? What's the release date? And they're just like, it's going to be in the launch window of PS5. Who knows what the hell that means? Honestly, when I heard that, I was like, what the heck does that mean? It could mean that it's meant for the holiday release that is the PS5, but I just find that insanely unlikely because Miles Morales is supposed to come out, Spider-Man, you know, it's supposed to come out at launch of PS5. That's another Insomniac game. So are we going to have two Insomniac games, both the games they're working on, just released within the first month or two of PS5? I find that pretty hard to believe. It's totally possible, and that would be one heck of a launch to start the system with. I'm more so thinking, and again, I want to know what you think of this, I'm more so thinking it's going to be, they mean like the launch, like the first quarter, potentially. So maybe, and I think it's still generous, like a January release. That could be. I don't know, though. I have no idea, and I'm really curious what they meant by that. And if you want to know more about the whole next-gen shindig, then you can find more videos of that to the side, in which I have a playlist of just discussing a lot of the next-gen stuff in regards to the PS5 and also Series X. And also, if it's first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, in which build up game hype and have some fun with you every week, share some opinions between me and you, and thank you so much for watching. Be geek, be proud, be awesome.